Small businesses often feel discouraged to create a website with the perception that their businesses would still thrive without it. But in an era where we've become technologically advanced, we wonder how much better they could be doing if they took the time to invest in one. Hello, I'm Katlego Msomi, and joining me today on Masterclass to help navigate through this topic is Vigam Bisane, CEO of ZA Domain Name Authority. Ntate Bisane, welcome to Masterclass.
Thank you very much.
Now, when we talk about websites, we are talking about something that's on the web that has multiple pages giving information about a service or a product. How important is it for our small businesses to really invest in one?
Well, today's life and today's economy runs on the internet. And without the internet, it will be difficult to trade as we do trade now. We've seen the power of the internet changing the world in the last 20 years or so and how we trade. The internet makes it possible for people to reach people who are here and people who are further beyond our borders.
Yes.
That's the power of the internet. Now, why is it important for businesses to be online? Is that's where people find you. You know, your website identifies you online. It helps people find you from other countries. You know, gone are the days where you'll have to take a telephone and call, and call China and say, I'm looking for shoes.
Yes.
You now go online and search for companies that sell shoes. Now, if you're not online, therefore it means people cannot find you easily. The website gives you many benefits, you know, other than the fact that you get your own space online where people will know that this is katlehorseshoes.com or katlehorseshoes.co.za. You know, you get to have your own unique identity by having your own website. There are benefits, there are pros and cons. We normally warn our businesses in South Africa to say, as much as you may think that social media is sufficient, we dare say that it's not sufficient. You need to do more for effective online presence. We preach not just only being online, but be effectively online. And that's where your dedicated website, or what we call in our terms domain name, becomes important.
When you talk about social media not being sufficient, is it just with the perception that social media is not as professional as having a website, or are they all interlinked?
It's all interlinked, but there are certain, call them risks or maybe challenges, you know, on both sides. Social media is good because it gets the crowds on this particular platform. You know, you can connect with people easily. That's the power of social media. You can follow trends. You can engage your potential customers, your consumers, and so forth. But there are downsides to it. On the internet, your identity is everything, you know. Now, when you're on a social media platform, you are running on what we call one domain name. A domain name is really a web address or your web name, you know. You are running on one domain name that belongs to somebody. This person who owns this particular domain then sets the rules of the game, what you can publish, what you cannot publish, what is acceptable for them in privacy, in terms of privacy and security, and what is not acceptable. Now, we have all these rules surrounding you. You know, if we can be specific with all due respect, if you, for example, are also on Facebook, there are policies that they have, and you are bound by those policies. Yes. But when you have your own web address, you don't have to have all those rules. You set the rules of the game, you know. It's also very easy to find a business that has a dedicated web address as opposed to a business that has a social media page, you know. So those are all the sophistications that are involved.
So it's accessibility. It's also being accessible around the clock when people are looking for certain things from your business. You don't have to open your doors in order for people to find you.
The key thing is identity. You know, you want to be, because the internet brings in so many people. I think currently the world has 7-point-something billion people. A little more than 4 billion now already on the internet. You know, so now when you go on the internet, you connect with all these billions of people, you know, who all may be on this particular platform, social media platform. You do not know exactly where they are from. And when they come and say, we sell ABC, you know, you may not be very clear if that is true. Whereas when you have your own dedicated website, and we are not saying people should not be on social media, businesses should not be on social media, no. We say social media is an add-on. It's an important add-on to try to get to your customers. But you do want a space where people know that if I'm looking for, say, Business Day TV, I have a website that is businessdaytv.co.za, and I know that I'm in the real Business Day TV.
You are in the forte of domains.
Yes.
And I want us to touch on .co.za, .com, .org, and now
Yes.
.africa.
Yes.
If I'm a business and I'm setting up my website and I need to choose
Yes.
which one am I using,
Right.
does it have an influence on the people searching for my business, whether I use .co.za, .com, or .africa? Do people tend to gravitate more to a website where they see it saying .co.za that solidifies that it's in South Africa? Or does it give you more of a status if it's .africa or .com?
It has different implications. I think the important principle that should be understood is that we encourage South Africans to register .za.
Okay.
Under co.za, or if you're a non-profit, under org.za, our government is under gov.za.
Yes.
Why so? Because .za is South Africa's internet space. You said rightfully, when people see an email address or a web address that ends in .za, then they know that this is a South African company or a South African person. The first value impression that you get.
Yes.
So likewise, when people now go online to these search engines and then they type katlehoshoes.co.za, or they say, I'm looking for ladies shoemaker in South Africa. And then there you are when they type lady shoemaker South Africa, and then your email or your web address comes, katlehoshoes.co.za, they know face value. This must be South African. As opposed to when you have katlehoshoes.com, people then start to say, oh, it could be Katleho in Botswana, you see. Katleho elsewhere in the US, is working there. I'm looking for South African people, so you may lose from there. But we are not saying, though, to people they shouldn't be registering their brand names in other domains. We say that it's important for your visibility and your identity that you are under .za. But then, if you are trading globally, or you want to grow globally, let us say you're an app developer and you say, I have this banking app that I know that once I've got all the funding it's developed, it's going to be big internationally. Then we say to you, register in other namespaces as well. Register in .com, register in .africa, register in .net.
So you can play
register in
around
.uk if you will be in the UK. But then you can have all these domain names in these different namespaces redirecting to your .za address for the identity that it gives you to say you are really South African.
So how much does this online presence cost, more or less?
Well, it depends on what you want online. Let's just take for a typical business or a startup business. One, you have the cost of the name itself and the web address. The website that will be designed for you.
Yes.
Now, the web design cost maybe, depending on a designer you use, they range, because also depends on the type of website you are looking for. If you are selling, the same example, if you are selling shoes and you say, I'm South African, I'm making these shoes from, say, Gokase or Soweto, and I just need to make sure that they go out, to the whole world, then already the type of website you have is a substantially sophisticated website. Why? Because this website must be able to have the pictures of the shoes. It must be interactive enough for people to be able to see the shoes facing this way or facing that side, so that they can order the shoe. It must be robust enough to have an e-commerce platform on it, meaning they should be able to place an order of the shoe and enter their credit card detail on and buy the shoe. And then you now get into shipping the shoes to those particular people. So that type of a website is a robust website that can take you anything, say from your 5,000 rands to your even 100,000 rands, depending on the sophistication. But if you're not going to have an e-commerce platform, you just want to put the pictures of what you do and then you say, contact us.
Yes.
Then it becomes a basic website, which depending again on a web designer, and there's no regulation that says how much web designers should charge you.
Okay.
Then you can have anything, a good website around 5,000 or even 10,000. The good thing with normally the website cost is that typically it is a once-off. Know why? Because you normally don't change your website every day or every year.
Or I could just make it myself if I don't have that amount of money.
Oh, you could. Some people are very smart and talented. You can go online to different classes and you can learn to code, to design websites. I've seen people do that right in front of me, and they develop their own websites. And you can develop a website. It may take you time, but the best way is that if you get a web designer with a few thousands to spare, your website can be up and running within a week.
Vika, just in closing, what tips would you share in terms of what would constitute a good website? So I'm about to start up my website. What boxes should I tick to say this website is user-friendly and it'll work for my business?
It must have a simple layout. You know, the terms of fancy websites, you know, are gone.
Yeah.
Especially if you're running a website and you're a business, you want people to buy, you're trying to attract people. You want to have a very simple layout. You know, your tabs on top, you know, your menu must simply, the basic tabs that you have about us, that is about your business, our services or our products, you know, and then contact us. Those are very key, you know, so keep it simple, keep it navigable, use also plain language. And also it's important that in South Africa, one thing we miss sometimes is that we may not be careful as businesses, you know, about our clientele or our target audience. If you'll be selling something like a book in Sesotho, you know, you might as well make that website to have a lot of Sesotho. So that Ugogo, who is able to somehow get into it, can be able to read this thing and click there, you know. So, but the important thing is to keep it simple, and then two, then also use social media to get to customers. But your social media should be linked to your website. That's why you see websites with all these icons for all these social media platforms.
At the bottom, yes.
Yes, but when they get to your social media, it must be very clear that your website addresses this. Your social media should be calling people to your website. Mind you, because eventually the number of people that visit your website, what we call traffic, can sometimes even help you to expand your website and sell other adverts to other people and say, I have 50,000 people visiting my website every week.
Advertise your products.
So I can go to a non-competing product. I may be selling shoes, but I can go to an insurer and say to them, hey, I have 50,000 people visiting me every week. I can place an ad for you there. I'm going to charge you 5,000 rands every week, you know, as an example. So you can be able to monetize it too in that way. So, but the key thing is keep it simple, and then also use the power of social media to draw people to your website.
Vika, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so insightful, and we hope to see you again on Masterclass.
Thank you very much.
And that was Vika Mpisane, CEO at ZA Domain Name Authority, telling us that a simple website can get you lots of money with your business being put out there and making sure that customers really come for what it is that you're selling. Thank you for joining us on Masterclass. Until next time, goodbye.